All right, everybody, how you doing? I'm going to be here presenting this information for you parents and for you students. If you weren't able to be with us on our Zoom call, that's perfectly fine because we're going to try to answer any kind of questions that you may have. Some questions that popped up during the Zoom conference. There may be questions that we still don't answer at the end of this, and if you do, please feel free to reach out and let us know. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so the first thing that I want everybody to know is how to contact us. How to, if you have any questions or you want to let us know about something, just our contact information. Again, the business phone number is 717-690-0451. If you want to call us during studio time when we're there, we have a studio number, which is a 717-617-2461, and that answers, that responds right to the front desk, and somebody can pick up the phone there. Otherwise, you could always feel free to send us an email to info@quascutsmartialarts.com and give us about 24 hours to respond to those emails. Now, one of the other things that we highly suggest to our parents is signing up for our Remind text messaging service. So the way to do it is pretty simple. All you would have to do is text the following number. You would text to 81010, and in the body of the text you would text @QuascutTKD, and that would automatically subscribe you to our text messaging service. So any parents that have any kids, they know that Remind is used at school in order to communicate with the instructors, the teachers, and so we use the same kind of text messaging service for our school. So again, if you that's how we give you any kind of information on any emergencies. If we're going to be closed for school and we're going to be transferring over to a virtual format, we would send out a text message reminder through the Remind text messaging. So again, the easiest thing to do is to register for that, and again by texting the number 81010 and then in the body putting @QuascutTKD, exactly how it is right there. So this brings us to one of the biggest points that I want to talk about today, which is our Spark app. So the Spark membership app, or Spark app, you can download on the App Store if you're an iPhone user, or the Play Store if you are an Android user. And what it is, it gives you a variety of options of how to take attendance, have our contact information, look at the calendar, special events, purchasing equipment like uniforms, kicking pads, or special nights, like special events, being able to refer family and friends, and of course giving us a 5-star rating either on Google or Facebook, and just kind of that way we can continue to service amazing, awesome families like you. So the Spark app, we have a video on how to actually to use the Spark app. The first thing you're going to do is download the app. Once you go to it, it's going to say, what is your school code? So the code for our academy is 1371, so 1371. You would enter that, and then it'll say what's your email, and it's going to ask you for your password. That first time, you would just say forgot my password, and it'll send you a reset password link to your email, the one that we have on file. So make sure again that you use the one that you have on file with us. Once you do that, then you'll be able to set up and establish your password the first time, and then you'll have access to the different features that come with the Spark app. So this is definitely one of the best things to do for any kind of ease that you would have with some of the information, especially with attendance. The way you would do it is pretty simple, and we're going to be going over the attendance and how to do that in a second here. But again, attendance, contact information, calendar, all those different things you can do through the Spark member app, especially downloading some of our curriculum, especially when you're a beginner, looking at those curriculum videos that we have. Okay, for attendance that we talked about a second ago, there are 2 different ways that you can log attendance for class. One of them is using the Spark app, and you would do that by opening up the app, and on the upper right-hand corner, there's going to be a little barcode. And you click on the barcode, and then it's going to open up and say check in. Once you check in, then you can definitely select the class, or if you have several members of the family, select which member you're signing in that night. And then you would select your class. So if you are on Tuesday and Thursday from 5:20 to 6, that option will come up. Some students that are in my 5:20 till 6 p.m. class, and they're also in the tournament team, then they would have to select between both of those, saying, hey, I'm here on a Saturday for tournament team. I'm here on Thursday for my regular class. But this is a GPS located app, so you have to give permissions on your phone to use your GPS location in order to take the attendance. So you can't be taking attendance from home. You actually have to be at the location in order to do so. And the other way of signing in for attendance is using our tablets. So students would just go to the tablet, they would look up their name, they would select the class that they're there for, and then that would keep record. And it's really no big deal if you missed attendance, because we always have a ton of things on our mind. Just let us know, and then we can correct any kind of attendance on our side. But we want to make sure that we're making the students responsible and taking ownership of their instruction. So that's what we also have the tablets there to make sure that they're taking attendance. Now, how often are people expected to be in class? So that's what really important question. If students are signed up for the Tuesday and Thursday, the Monday, Wednesday, whichever they did, the pair of classes, they have an opportunity of taking 8 classes per month. Some months have like 5 weeks, and then you get like an extra class or so. You have like 9 or 10 classes, but the average is like 8 classes per month. And what we want our students is to have an average of 7 classes per month. So that if one month they only have 6 classes, then the next month they would come for 8. That's an average of 7. Or if they missed a couple classes because they have some events at school, whatever else, and then the last couple months they come 8 and 8. Again, it's still averages of 7, just because we want to make sure that they are receiving all the information to successfully promote for their next rank. If we have some student, of course, there are unforeseen situations, there's circumstances that arise. And we just want you guys to talk to us. So if your child, unfortunately, is ill, or a member of the family is ill, and according to our policy, when we say please stay home till you're clear of symptoms, then just let us know, and we'll work with you and make those adjustments, because we know life is life. But we expect students to have like an average attendance of about 7 classes a month in order to make sure that they're maximizing their time in the studio. Now, in order to find out the schedule, and our schedule is it's repetitive of what happens, but some parents want to know when's the next test, when are they having any kind of special Saturday events, like if we're doing a parents' night out, or if we're doing anything like that. Then I would suggest that you go to our website, and then you can click directly through our app to the website. So again, that's and also to our schedule. But if you didn't download the app, you can go to our website, quaskitsmartialarts.com, and right there in the menu bar, you'll see where it says schedule, and you'll click on that schedule, and it'll open up the next screen with our schedule of events. So once you're there, it's going to open up to this page where it's going to have like what's the rotation, what's the information times, which classes are paired. But at the bottom, you'll see we'll have specials, special training, and then calendar. So the calendar is what you want to click on, and that's going to give you our Google Calendar with everything that's been outlined for the year. And of course, some things are a little flexible. They may move because of weather or whatever else. But we have our dates for our testing, for testing, for special events, for black belt testing, for if we're going to have a parent participation week. They're all listed on our calendar. So if you go through the website, like I said, click on schedule, go to calendar, and then open up our Google Calendar. And again, you can access our calendar through the Spark member app. Okay, so this is one of the questions that we receive a lot, which is about uniforms, because people come in, hey, we see uniforms, all kinds of different colors, white, blue, and black, and there's this or the other. So I want to kind of explain what the uniforms are. They're kind of a reward system for students who have been really working hard, and they want to show their progression. So the white uniform is the uniform that everyone starts with. It's available to all students, white all the way through black belt. And those slightly change at the black belt level. But white belt through high red belt. The white uniforms for every single student. Now the next uniform that students can receive and can attain is the blue uniform, and that's open to students who, once they reach their green belt. So once they've moved up through the ranks, going from like white to high white and so on and so forth, all the way to green belt, then they can use the blue uniform. And that blue uniform is available for students that are between green belt and high blue belt. So those students are going to be green, blue, high blue. They can wear that blue uniform. And then once they reach the red belt rank or higher, then they're entitled to wear the uniform that the black belts wear, which is the black uniform. So the black uniform is truly the black belt uniform. But those students who are at red belt, we give them the opportunity of being able to use the black uniform because we are celebrating their success and the fact that they're on their path to becoming a black belt. So again, they can only wear that black uniform once they reach their red belt. Now you'll also see some white uniforms with a red and black collar, or we call that a poom trim, P-O-O-M, poom trim. And those poom trim uniforms are for youth black belts only. So any student that once they become a black belt, but they're a youth, considered youth, then they can wear that black and red trim uniform. And likewise, the white uniforms with a complete black collar is again for our black belts, but those are for what we consider adult black belts. An adult is considered at 15 years or older. So if the students are 15 and older, they wear the solid black collar. If they are under the age of 14 and down, and they're a black belt. And we don't allow any students to be black belts prior to the age of 9. So between the ages of 9 and 14, if they're a black belt, then they wear the poom trim with the black and red trim. And likewise, is the same exact thing that happens for our shirts. So once we go into our summer uniform and the students can wear short sleeve shirts, the white shirt is again open to anybody who wants to wear the white shirt. If they want to get a blue shirt, it's only available for green belt students and up. If they want to get the black shirt, it's only for red belt and up for those students. So and we start our short sleeve uniforms, the summer uniform, right around April, and we go through till the middle of September with those, just because of the weather changes. But that's our summer uniform that we wear. Now, talking about promotion. And achieving next ranks. We're going to be talking about two different ones. We're not talking about Tiny Tigers. I'll discuss those individually with those parents. But we're talking about the Roaring Tiger program, which is for our 5 through 7-year-old program. And once they turn 8, and it's anywhere between 8 to 800. If you can live that long, amazing, awesome, keep doing Taekwondo. You're probably that old because you were doing Taekwondo and it's just kept you strong. So our Roaring Tigers is our 5 to 7-year-old program, and the Youth Taekwondo through the adult is 8 to 800. That's our program right there. And so I'm going to talk about what it is about promoting or advancing in rank, and what does it look like for those. So the Roaring Tigers test or promotion system is anywhere between white belt starting there through their blue belt. And like I said again, it is for the ages of 5 through 7. So once they turn 8. So it's 5 through 6, 6 through 7, and 7 all the way through 8. So if a student starts at the age of 5 with a white belt, they will be doing this for about 6 months is our testing. So we'll have white, and then they'll test for 2 stripes. So they'll have their first stripe 2 months into the program, and their second stripe 2 months later, and at their 6th month, they'll be able to test for their color belt. So it's stripe, and then their belt. And that's the high white belt. Now, the high white belt for that first one, we do because of depending on when they come into the program, we do allow some flexibility on that one instead of making them wait the entire for the next promotion. But it is normally a 6-month process of when it happens. After that, it's always 6 months. So from high white to yellow, 6 months, yellow to high yellow, green to high green, and high green to blue. And that, if you look at it, every 2 belts would constitute a year, which would be a 3-year program, which is a 5, 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 program. So that, and we have everything broken down into thirds of the information that they have to complete and they have to know for promotion. And then the information checklists are available for our parents, so they know exactly what their students have to know for their test. The youth through adult program, works similarly, you'll see, except that there's extra belts. They'll have their high blue belt, their red belt, their high red, and then they'll be able to test for their black belt. So again, the youth program starts at the age of 8 and goes all the way to the age of 800 or 1,000 or however old you are. And there is no right or wrong time to start the program. We encourage anybody, it doesn't matter what age, to start your Taekwondo journey. But so if a student starts with us at the age of 8 at white belt, then they would go every 4 months would be our test of that program. Once they're considered into our regular youth standardized program, it's every 4 months. There aren't any stripe tests anymore. It's just they do their standard 4-month waiting period. And we test on specific times. So we always test in April, so like at the end of April. We test again like early September, and then we test again in December. So 4-month periods between. And then if a student, unfortunately, if a student doesn't pass their promotion test because of the fact that they didn't meet all the requirements, there's a makeup test 2 months after their test. So if they didn't make it in April, then they'll get the test in June. If they didn't make it in September, they'll get the test in November. If they didn't get to test correctly or pass in December, then they'll have to wait till about February to test. And again, we just want to make sure that all students they know their information and they are practicing to the best of their abilities, because we want to make sure that they are earning their rank and not just receiving it. So we want to make sure that everybody's earning their rank appropriately. And of course, we're there to help, and our job is to help, encourage, and ensure that our students are successful. So, but if you look at this program, again, it is about a 3-year process for them to go from white belt to black belt. 3 could be up to 3.5 years, but that is 3 years is pretty much the minimum. And again, we don't allow any of our students to test for the rank of black belt prior to the age of 9. So 9 is the youngest they could test for their black belt. And at the bottom, you'll see there's 2 different types of black belt, which is a red black, and then there's a solid black. And again, that goes back to what we call the youth black belt, the POOM trim that matches the uniforms. Anybody that's under the age of 15, and the solid black belt is for anybody who's 15 or older, and that's what they're considered an adult in Taekwondo. So again, hopefully this video answered some of your questions, some of the wonderings that you may be having, and again, probably didn't answer all the questions you have, but again, if you have something that we didn't answer, please feel free to contact us with, how we mentioned before. You can call us at our phone number. You can text at that 6900451. You can sign up for the Remind messaging and text us that way. You can send an email to info@Quaskets Martial Arts, or simply just stop one of us instructors during class and say, hey, I have a question. Do you have a couple minutes after class? Or just let Samantha or one of the, or both, either Samantha's in the front office, just know that you have a question, and they'll get the information to me, or if they know the answer, they'll just answer you right then and there. Okay? But any questions, please always feel free to reach out to us. So hopefully this answered, like I said, most of your questions, and we look forward to seeing you in the dojo.